talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
For a long time, we have been trying to get people to admit that there is a problem with crime in Minnesota. My question today, are you willing to admit that things are getting better? Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. So glad to have you with us today. The new data is out. Oh, data. Remember data? We used to trust it. Those were good times. Today, big story in the Minnesota Star Tribune talking about crime being down in Minneapolis, not just in certain categories, not just compared to last year. There are categories of crime where we are back to pre-pandemic levels. Whoa. I know. Some of you saw a thing on Facebook that said a thing that your dad and your friend sent to somebody else that said that crime is out of control. Are we willing to have real understanding, real growth? What is a win for you when it comes to crime? I think most people are so entrenched in their views on this. It's become so politicized. I don't know. It leaves me feeling sort of crappy that I don't know if anyone is willing to ever deal with reality. I'm going to give you some of the real data points, but I also want to know how you feel, because how you feel matters. But there's a contract when you peddle in the how I feel about things currency. And part of the social contract, when you talk about how you feel, because I can't tell you how you feel, but part of the contract is that you have to be willing to reevaluate, willing to revisit, willing to think, not just decide on a position and then just hammer it without bringing any new thought to the table. The headline says Minneapolis crime is falling in 2025, even amid high-profile violence. And so when I first saw that headline, I thought, like, all right, like, yes, I have been glad to see progress year over year. I've been glad to see crime going down. But crime going down in a relative sense, when you look at how much crime exploded after COVID and after the riots, after the murder of George Floyd, it's sort of a hollow victory, right? You know, when your business loses $2 million and then the next year you're up and you only lost $1.5 million, you're still sort of screwed, right? And so sometimes these relative measures of crime are not that useful. And so in this story, the Star Tribune said, like, all right, let's see how we're doing. And then they looked at crime by different measures. So since last year, murders are down about 18%. The number of gunshot victims is down by about 18%. Robberies are way down. Carjackings way down. Burglary. So a lot of the things where I have been harping on the fact that, hey, we get sort of hyper fixated on homicide and shootings when most of us are worried about getting mugged or getting our car stolen. Well, guess what? Carjackings and robberies are way down in Minneapolis, and robberies are way down compared to 2019. 18% fewer robberies, 28% fewer burglaries compared to the first 9 months of 2019. I'm not saying compared to last year. When will it ever be enough? I don't know. I think there are some people who are just not really interested in giving ground on this issue. Do you believe it? How do you feel about crime in the cities? And boy, I would love it if you've actually visited one of them over the last 9 months. 651-461-9226. Because I just think part of the deal when you live in the game of feeling, which I do live in the game of feeling, if you feel unsafe or you feel like it's going to be unsafe, it does affect your behavior. It affects mine. It affects, certainly you look at the data when it comes to transit. I mean, it is no mistake that the number of people returning the bus and the train is sort of flatlined. And some of this is other issues, right? We don't have the frequency. They're not running as often. It's not as convenient. Some of it has to do with work, that people are working more remotely or more non-predictable schedules. But the reality is a lot of people aren't getting back on the bus or the train because it feels unsafe. We have heard time and time again people on this show talking about the cities being unsafe and feeling unsafe. And I honor that because, look, data is never going to contradict the time that you were assaulted or the friend of yours who was assaulted. And you can counteract that with data. And look, if my wife got mugged or I got carjacked, I am not going to be very interested in data. But also, my opinion should essentially be disregarded. Because your emotional reaction, reasonable emotional reaction, isn't how the rest of us should be making decisions. Let's go to the phones right now. It's 651-461-9226. Dave is in Minnetonka, but gets points for being in St. Paul last weekend. Dave, your call is allowed to go on the air, so thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
How does it feel? St. Paul has had tremendous success in reducing the numbers of shootings. They've been catching the bad guys and locking them up who have been responsible for shootings. But I was just in St. Paul the other day. I got to say, like, when it's empty downtown, it feels a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was celebrating my 60th birthday on Saturday, and we went to the Gambit Comedy Gallery. And we were in numbers. We had 8 of my friends, and we felt safe in numbers.
Yeah.
We ran across a couple of individuals that if, quite honestly, I was by myself, I maybe would not have felt as safe. But the fact of the matter is we went to the comedy gallery, we had a good time, enjoyed the beverages and food, and left, and it was a very good time. And nobody in our party felt bad, threatened, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I think, did you have people in your group who maybe had other perceptions or were a little uneasy about it?
No, we didn't. Everybody was laughing and having a good time, and quite honestly, nobody gave it a second thought about our safety.
Do you think
frank, we were?
You know, you hear this stuff, like I hear it from my neighbors, right? Living in Maple Grove, I hear it from people. They're like, oh, it's, I don't know, it's unsafe. And a lot of times I think it's people who never used to come down here anyway. So, but I do acknowledge, like, part of our success in our cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, it's not that big. Like, to really succeed as a destination, we need our suburban and our exurban and greater Minnesota. We need people to feel comfortable coming down here,
I want to make one note here.
Sure.
If I wasn't with numbers, I quite honestly may have not felt as safe. And I'm just trying to be,
keep it real.
Honest.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
Dave, thank you. Very good call. Like, Dave is being honest, and I feel that myself, right? Like, I am in this city all the time. I'm here at night. I'm here during the day. I feel safe, but part of the reason I feel safe is that I'm here all the time. And I acknowledge, like, if you're not, it is different, right? If you're walking around and it's the streets are empty and they're like, I get it. But my point today is that we have an obligation. We're destroying our own community by telling everyone how much it sucks, how dangerous it is. And you can be concerned about crime. You can be concerned about police not being enough in numbers. You can be concerned about prosecutors not prosecuting gun crimes toughly enough. I'm concerned about all of those things. But you also can be realistic. And the reality is things are getting better. They are turning around, and not just turning around compared to last year. They are objectively getting better. And the question is, are you ready to absorb that information? Lots of text coming in with the number one issue that our texters are responding to. I'll tell you what that is in just a minute. 651-461-9226. Drive Time. Back in a minute on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here with a really urgent message for you to take care of your skin, to get your skin checked out. If you have never had a full body skin checkup, especially if you have a family history of skin cancer like I do, you got to reach out to Tureen Dermatology today. I go to see Dr. Mohiba Tureen. I see her in Roseville. And from the first time I went to visit her, I felt comfortable. I felt seen. I felt like I was going to be taken care of. Was I nervous about a full body skin checkup, knowing that my dad has had skin cancer after skin cancer? Absolutely. Did I feel nervous after walking in that office? No way. You will feel the love from the minute you walk through that door. I believe in Tureen Dermatology so much that my wife goes there now. My 2 teenagers have gone there. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister-in-law. The family is there because we believe in the team. We believe in the more than 25 board-certified providers who have left their practices or left their hometowns to come work for Dr. Mohiba Tureen. I also love that you can get in within 3 weeks. It's pretty awesome. So many dermatologists. Lakeville, for example, you've got a brand new Tureen Dermatology. In Lakeville, to go see a dermatologist, it used to take 5 or 6 months. Now you can get in with 3 weeks notice. 3 weeks. Tureen Dermatology, Tareen, dermatology.com. That's the website. Log in, request an appointment, and make sure you tell them you heard about it here on Drive Time.
Hi, Denny Long here. Join us every Saturday for the Home Improvement Show by Lindis Construction. Andy Lindis and I will be taking your home improvement questions both by phone and by text every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock here on News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you're planning on selling your home soon, you need to be in the know on the changes to the real estate market and our economy so that you can sell it for the most money possible. Hi, it's Benita. With interest rate fluctuation, talks of a recession, you want to be fully informed. If you're thinking of selling your home, my good friend, the good neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, along with Paul Douglas, will be hosting another free 45-minute online seminar. Learn the 5 mistakes most homeowners make when trying to sell, how to properly market a home in a balancing market, and 5 things you can do right now to make the most money. 4 webinar times, Tuesday, October 7th, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., Thursday, the 9th, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up today. This is the last week to register. Only a few spots left. Go to johnschustergroup.com. Click the banner at the top of the page marked Home Seller Forum.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
This is so cool, people. It's so cool.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now I can't keep you from loving him. You made up your mind.
it's a perfect fall day, isn't it? Nice to have you with us here on Drive Time with DeRusha. We are talking about whether or not we are willing to believe new information when it comes to crime. City of Minneapolis, the latest data, has recorded about 50 fewer shootings, 9 fewer homicides, a third fewer carjackings and other robberies compared to last year. And year-over-year progress is good, but getting us back to where we were before the pandemic is where I want to be. Like, that's, to me, the real progress here. The number one thing that people are questioning us about on the text line at 651-461-9226 is whether or not people are reporting crime. And it's a fair question. It always is, though. It always is. If you think that police are not going to respond, you may be less likely to report your crimes. Now, I would say murders are going to be reported. Gunshot victims are going to be reported. What are the crimes that you guys think are not where you're not going to bother with? Maybe burglary? Maybe you're not going to fill out that form, but wasn't that always an issue? I mean, I don't think, even when the Minneapolis police force was up at 700 officers, I don't know that people were reporting every single burglary. Were they reporting every motor vehicle theft? Probably. So I don't know. I mean, it's a fair question to ask, but also you have to ask yourself, are you asking that question because you are so motivated to reinforce your own beliefs? So basically, I'm asking if you're a boob. If you've decided that you've locked in on something and you're so unopen to new information that you have to figure out another way to kind of work through this. Texters say this. I can tell you from living there is far less crime now than a couple years ago. 2 years ago, I would not carry a purse. Now I carry the purse. There is still too much car vandalism, though. I think that's right. Yeah, certainly the explosion in like the number of cars that have had their windows smashed out. Like, this is the livability stuff that makes you say, like, I love this city, but I'm out, right? So these are serious issues. They don't always show up in the most serious crimes, but they are serious issues. Another texter just got out of a conference today about the downtown real estate market, and the general consensus for the panel was that commercial real estate values and occupancy are being affected by concerns over security issues and local politics. These factors are a major reason why investors from outside Minnesota are passing on purchasing downtown properties. I will tell you this. I talked to 2 people today who are hesitating to sign a lease because they're waiting to see what shakes out in the mayoral election in Minneapolis. I think that's reasonable behavior, right? But I do think, especially, and we'll talk about this coming up in an hour, but especially with the backdrop of a federal government that is sending National Guard troops into areas that it deems to be unsafe, we owe ourselves the ability to be honest. And I get ripped all the time. I had somebody in my DMs on Twitter today who said that because I say that I feel safe in downtown, or I believe downtown is safe, that it means I'm in denial about the reality of crime. And I would just say some people have invented a definition of safety. And they've invented a definition of safety that it is impossible to achieve. And they do this why? Why do you think they're doing this? Why do you think you're doing this if you're one of those people? Do you want to see failure? If so, why? We've made everything so political that we want our team to be right and to win so desperately that we can't acknowledge that, hey, you know what? Things are getting better. Now, am I saying things are getting better because of Jacob Fry or because of the current majority on the city council or because, well, what I am saying is I think crime is complicated to understand. And currently the national trend is that crime is down. Why is that? I don't know. I think if anybody's ever being honest, they would tell you, do we know why crime is going up? We don't know. There's some things we can do to try to attack it, but stuff happens. Things go up, things go down, and how you react to it matters, but also the broader environment seems to matter. Textures, crime in Minneapolis isn't as bad as people make it out to be, and the possibility that Trump will send troops will just be another part of his agenda to go after blue cities. Jason, do you think if mainstream media or the local news didn't report on all the carjacking and the crime and the shootings, people would be more apt to come downtown? That's a really interesting question because, right, like this crime data comes out. Here's the other problem with crime. Data does not contradict what you see with your own eyes, even though the data is correct. And what we see with our own eyes is only part of the story. And so, there was a big shooting at some restaurant/nightclub in Minneapolis in the overnight hours. And we had that at the top of the hour news. 1 dead, 3 hurt after an overnight shooting in downtown Minneapolis. And you might be saying, Jason, like, there's a shootout at this bar Zia in downtown Minneapolis overnight. And you're trying to tell me that crime is down. And I would say, yes. Also, I'm not saying that it's not a significant problem. It is a significant problem. Jason, I don't want to see failure, but you sure can't hide away from it. So what is success? What is success? Now, I'm not saying we're there, but I'm saying we can ignite. If crime went up in all of these categories over the first 9 months of this year, you better believe I would be on this show talking about what a train wreck this is and what a lack of leadership there is and why we need more police officers and we're not acting with urgency. So I, as an intellectually honest human being, also have an obligation to say, like, hey, things are going better. Like, we're not there. But we don't have to have this sort of ridiculous argument all the time that if you talk about some positive progress, well, gosh, guess you're ridiculous. You're not willing to face reality. It is, you got to think and you got to reevaluate. I like to think that's why you guys listen to this show. You're willing and open. You're open to new information. If you want to just hear what you already think, there are other shows you can listen to for that. It's more work for us to challenge ourselves. But like, let's be honest and let's not tear our own community down, except for when it deserves it. Like, we got fraud. There's plenty of stuff we could talk about. It's 3:31. In just a minute, we are going to talk with a 33-year-old state senator about the future of the Republican Party. Part of my frustration with this state is that I feel like often we don't have a quality choice at the ballot box. How can the Republican Party become more relevant on state elections? We'll talk with State Senator Julia Coleman about that in just a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
What's for dinner? What are you having for dinner tonight? Have you decided? Have you figured it out? It's Jason here. I have an idea. You're never going to guess what I'm going to tell you. Dan, you have no clue.
None whatsoever.
Might I suggest Minnesota pork? Might I suggest Minnesota pork for dinner this evening? 3,000 family pig farmers, every corner of this great state. These family farmers are doing everything they can, following the latest technology, the latest ideas to take care of their land, their soil, take care of their neighbors, take care of their pigs. And oh, it tastes so good. Man, nothing better than going to your local butcher shop, especially. I love that. But boy, you got great meat counters at our grocery stores too. And just asking like, hey, I'm in the mood for pork tonight. What are you thinking? And you'll get great suggestions, right? You know about the bone-in pork chop. You know that bacon is just the beginning. But have you made a pork tenderloin lately? I got one sitting in my fridge. That is what is for dinner tonight at the DeRusha house. Already marinated. You go to the grocery store, it's already marinated, ready to go. You just pop that in your oven. 15 minutes later, kabam. It's dinner time, baby. Let's go. It's a busy time of year. Minnesota pork can help make things easier and more delicious for you. So get to that grocery store and butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Hi,
Hi, welcome to the WCCO All You Can Listen Buffet. I recommend starting with some appetizing morning information and motivation with Benita. If you're looking for something sweet and spicy, grab a helping of Adam and Jordana. For some extra heat and bite, it's Chad Hartman. Craving conversation? DeRusha's got perfectly seasoned, stick-to-your-ribs topics to go around. And after a full day of news, Henry Lake's the sweet treat of sports and pop culture you won't want to skip.
We believe when it comes to staying informed, there's no such thing as too full. News Talk 830 WCCO, the biggest spread in the state, and where curiosity's always on the menu.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got a crash working north side of the Metro for 694 eastbound, move toward Highway 10/Snelling Avenue area. Look for the left lanes to be affected. Traffic making its way around the crash, but it again is down to single lane and things are jammed up as you make your way past Central Avenue. So you're ready for that. And westbound, a bit of a gawker slowdown as you move away from Rice Street. 35B northbound, not too bad a ride there anyway for the time being. We make the run Maryland Avenue up to 694. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Moderna. And here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A little milder overnight tonight, falling back to the mid-40s. There'll be a bit of a breeze in the air tomorrow. A southerly wind 10 to 15, but partly cloudy with a high near 70. Mostly sunny, 68 Friday. Should be dry Saturday with a chance of showers on Sunday.
I love this weather. Like, this is my jam right now. I'm all about it. Right now it is, 63. It's the same temperature as it is in my parents' place in suburban Chicago. 63 in St. Paul on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
One time I listened to CCO after 3 p.m. Worst mistake ever.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I assume Jordana's talking about her old show that used to be on after 3 o'clock. Is it a good strategy as a station? Like, I know these little things are funny, but we play us ripping on ourselves all the time. I don't know. Unclear. Republican Party in Minnesota. I saw a session yesterday at this Star Tribune Ideas Festival, and one of my friends saw this on the schedule, and the schedule said the future of the Republican Party in Minnesota, and she was like, what? What future does that party have in Minnesota? And certainly I think a lot of people, even if you're not like a hardcore Democrat, you've been wondering, what is the future of this party? The last time a statewide office was held by a Republican was Tim Pawlenty. And Pawlenty said on this campaign cycle that he wouldn't run for U.S. Senate for the old Tina Smith seat because he'd never get through the primary. So what is the future of the Republican Party today? To get some insight, we talked to a 33-year-old state senator, Julia Coleman, and she joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. Julia, how do you sort of figure this out? What is a future for the Republicans?
I think we have to go back to the days of being willing to be a big tent party. And we've been seeing it kind of whittled down as far as accepted ideologies ever since I started getting involved, probably back in 2014. You know, I was at a convention probably in 2022 where the delegates, the base, tried to unaffiliate, the log cabin Republicans, which are essentially, people who identify as homosexual and Republicans. I mean, why are we closing our tent when it should be growing? And so I would rather have a party where I agree with the people in the room with me about 70% of the time than try to legislate from the minority with people I agree with about 15% of the time. And so we have to be okay with not having purity tests, growing the tent and saying, you come to a convention right now, it feels like you're just getting grilled the whole time. Oh, you supported Nikki Haley? I mean, you don't really belong here. Or you believe in this? You don't really belong here. But it needs to feel more like, I think about going to church, bringing someone to church for the first time, and people are, I'm so happy you're here. I can't believe you've made it. How can I help you? That is what it needs to be more like.
Is that doable in the current structure where the people with the strongest viewpoints on sort of these wedge issues like abortion or Trump, right? If you didn't pledge loyalty to Trump, you brought up the Nikki Haley example. I've heard that many times. You look at State Representative Christian Robbins, who's running for governor, and I've had all sorts of conservatives say, I don't trust her. She supported Nikki Haley. It's like she didn't support Joe Biden. Like, it's a very interesting sort of approach, It
is. And I think that it is possible because I'm hearing a growing number of people who say they came out and got involved in the grassroots around the time of, Tim Pawlenty, Norm Coleman, that type of era. They're now saying, I want my party back. I want my party back. And I said, okay, well, we're the party of personal responsibility. So that means you have to dedicate a Tuesday night in February, caucus night, and a couple of Saturdays to saying, I'm only going to put my dollars and my time and my endorsements to candidates that say, don't believe compromise is a dirty word, that believe in diversity of thought, that believe we can support different candidates as we go into the primary and come together for the general. And I see it so much in the younger generation too. When I talk to Senators Duckworth or Representative Andrew Myers, people that are younger and have growing families, we want that diversity of thought in our party. We want college-age kids to feel welcome. And so that means we have to open up our minds and we have to open up our tent.
Part of the challenge as we talk with State Senator Julia Coleman, a younger Republican, and you and Senator Duckworth were talking about this with former Governor Pawlenty on stage yesterday. I do think the three of you are not exactly like on the inside of the hardcore MAGA crowd in the Republican Party. And I want you to give me your thoughts on this, because I used to sort of make a distinction. In the Republican Party, you have the MAGA, ride or die, Donald Trump fans, and then you have sort of the Pawlenty, more traditional type of Republicans. Today, I don't know if that's true. Do you still see that distinction, or is everybody pretty much, you're either a full-on Make America Great Donald Trump supporter, or you're a fake Republican?
I think that there is a blend. I mean, don't get me wrong. I voted for President Trump in the most recent election, and there's a lot of his policies I support. But I also, when I go door to door, I am not advertising myself as a mega Republican. I'm advertising myself as a Julia Coleman Republican. And that's why you see Senators Duckworth and myself really outperform the top of the ticket, because when we talk to our neighbors, we're not trying to put on a show. We're trying to be authentically ourselves. And that's what Minnesotans are really craving. And that's what we really need in a strong candidate to actually flip this state for the first time in decades. And I believe it's possible, but I've seen candidates before try to replicate, how Donald Trump talks and acts. And I've seen them fail time and time again, because what voters are craving right now, they don't want someone overly polished and scripted, which is what we had for a long time. But they also don't want somebody trying to be the bombastic Donald Trump. They just want you to lead with authenticity. And that is what I would encourage anybody stepping into the arena to try their best to do.
Can the Republican Party get past, you talked about purity tests. The issue of abortion, I think, is one where there may be a generational difference. Maybe not. I don't know. I remember a time when Republicans were focused more on lower taxes, on more economic issues. And then there was a shift. It became really a very socially oriented party. I wonder where your generation is on this. Is there interest in returning to being focused on more economic issues? Or, how can you be a Republican today and say, look, I'm not in favor of abortion, but I don't want to regulate it? Where do you kind of come down on that challenge?
I see a lot of the younger crowd say, maybe I'm personally believe something. I'm personally pro-life. I would never have an abortion. But I also recognize that we are in a state where there's never going to be a ban from conception. But we also know most Minnesotans probably didn't realize and wouldn't prefer it through all 9 months. And so there's a group of Republicans that just want to work in reality. And then we also want to focus, for me, as a female, I get sick of it being the only issue they think we want to talk about. I also want to focus on the fact that there's lead and arsenic in feminine products. I want to focus on the fact that on my kid's very first day of Catholic school, he was in lockdown. I want to focus on the fact that 50% of kids can't read, or the grocery bill, or how I want competition in the marketplace for all forms of energy. And so we have to stop thinking abortion is the only women's issue. And I think part of the way we do that is we start talking to and electing more young women that are really walking in the shoes of working mothers right now. Instead of guessing what they want, let's have them come tell us what they want.
Yeah, and I guess another issue I look at, and you talked about compromise not being a dirty word. And I think, I don't know that any one party has a monopoly on their lack of willingness to compromise. We see it in both sides. It's one of the things that frustrates me about our government and our elected officials. But I sometimes wonder, is what today what the voters want? Is it what the sort of base primary or caucus type voters want? I mean, people elected sort of what we have today. So how do you sort of rectify that with this idea of all right, we need to get back to a big tent. We need to get back to a Pawlenty era type Republican.
It absolutely has to do with the fact that people have been pushed out by both sides of the aisle from their base, from their caucus system. Norm Coleman, my father-in-law, used to be a pro-life Democrat and got kicked out of that party. We see people who are Nikki Haley Republicans feeling like they got so beat up they might not show back up to caucus this year. And so we've just allowed both sides to say, you're not pure enough, and push people out. And it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time to go be dedicated to picking the party platform and picking the candidates. 50 people can show up on a Saturday and decide who their new state rep is going to be. And particularly in the Republican Party, the endorsement is king. And so if you are one of the people that's getting sick of the polarization and you want to have more of a say, it's too late if you just show up at the ballot box. You have to learn how to get involved in the caucus system, and we need more people with sensible minds showing up to that, because otherwise it's just going to keep dwindling down to the most fringe ends of both parties.
Part of what I think, as we talk with State Senator Julia Coleman, is that you need better candidates at the statewide level. You need candidates that are saying the things that you're saying. Why not run? Why not jump in?
I gave a very candid answer yesterday at the Star Tribune panel on the future of the Republican Party. And that was, sometimes other things are really nagging on your heart. And my kids started off their summer with a cop outside their house being told to stay away from the windows, trying to figure out why mom was so scared and so sad. My kindergartner's first day of Catholic school, had a cop outside his school being told to stay away from the windows on lockdown. And we just got a new threat last week. My very first boss and one of my longtime friends, I watched get assassinated a couple weeks ago in Charlie Kirk. And so right now I feel this need to focus on literally my own backyard. But it is my sincere hope that if the state were to call me towards that I would feel I was the right person at the right moment. But right now I feel like I'm the right mom at the right moment.
There's a Dean Phillips, Julia Coleman gubernatorial ticket rumor going around. Is there any talk about that? Have you heard this rumor?
I think I joked about it once and then it spread from there. So a lot of respect for the guy, wish him all the best, but I think he is loving life out in LA right now.
Well, I don't blame him. That's for sure. I understand it. I understand it. It is fascinating to see kind of this period of upheaval. It was one of the topics that I enjoyed at the Star Tribune North Star Festival, that Ideas Festival. This idea that we're sort of on the precipice of some major change in society, and with that comes sort of an uneasy time politically, and that historically there are plenty of precedents for this, even though it feels unprecedented for us. I don't know. For me, that gave me some optimism that we're going to come out of this period of intense polarization and negativity and threats, and hopefully be able to turn the corner and thrive. I don't know. Do you share that?
I do. I mean, I've seen, well,
this time sucks,
but
Julia. It sucks right now. This is not what any of us who love politics, love our community. This is not what any of us want.
Oh, you're telling me I had twins and I didn't get gray hair. 2 elections didn't get gray hair in this last summer. Oh boy, are they starting to poke through. But I just studying history. I mean, think about the generation that saw the civil rights movement and the assassinations of JFK, RFK, MLK, and how polarized the country was. And we got through that. And I know and have faith that certainly my generation is not going to be the one that lets this great American experiment fail, because I go home and there's 3 sets of these big, beautiful brown eyes looking up at me. And despite the heartburn and the stress and the gray hair, that is what I know is worth it. And that's why I get so much hope when I see more young people running for office, getting involved, because we have a lot on the line.
Julia Coleman, always appreciate our conversations. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is a new season and a chance for you for a new beginning. It's Jason here from my friends at Livea Weight Control Centers. You could lose up to 10 pounds or more in your first 2 weeks. New season, new mindset. Let's go. Let's do it, and let's do it together. The togetherness is what I want to talk about today, because part of my success with Livia losing 45 pounds and keeping that weight off for almost, well, gosh, it's been 3 years now. The success was the team. I had to make the decision. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to take action. But it was the team that kept me on track. For me, it was the Coon Rapids Livia Weight Control Centers. For you, it might be virtual, online. Local people with the support that you deserve. That's what Livia is all about. Nutrition program, you're getting half off right now. GLP-1, weight loss medication, Livia Medical, starting at $99 a month. Let's go. What are you waiting for? Make yourself the priority. 855-465-4832. 855-GO-LIVIA or livia.com.
Anytime is tune-up time with Apollo Heating, Air, and Plumbing. For only $59, get your furnace ready for another rough Minnesota winter. Go to callapollo.com and schedule your tune-up today. That's callapollo.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems up in the area of Arden Hills for 694 eastbound. It is currently closed near the area of County Road 10 because of a multi-car crash involving some injuries. Looks like tows will be needed to clear out a vehicle or two. So again, 694 eastbound near County Road 10 is closed because of this injury crash. Traffic, you can use the ramp to and from Selling Avenue to work your way around the wreck. So not too big of a hassle, but just be aware that you're going to find delays in that area. And it is slow as you come away from Highway 65. 35W northbound, watching some slowing there as you come up from County Road D towards 694. East 94 is make way between Dale and downtown St. Paul, some slowing. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Tonight, clear, low of 45. Tomorrow, cloudy and a high of 70. Right now, it is 64 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, I'd love for you to join me over at the Minneapolis Club in a conversation with the publisher of the Star Tribune, Steve Grove. If you just Google Steve Grove Minneapolis Club, it'll take you to my Facebook page where I have a link to tickets for this. It's like, I don't know, it's like $45. You get a sit-down lunch, plated lunch, a whole conversation on tech, the government, the media. Steve Grove, publisher, and your chance to come in the Minneapolis Club, which would be pretty cool. So Friday for lunch. Come and join me. That'll be Cook. Why don't you come on over?
Sounds like a great idea.
I will buy you lunch.
Nice.
How about that? Nothing Dan Cook would like more than watching me have a conversation with somebody else. Is pretty much what you do every day. Mostly I'm just having a conversation with the camera.
Yeah. Usually I get paid to do that, though. So,
well, you're on the clock at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, how many hours do you think you work? How many hours do you think I work? How about we don't answer either of those?
I was going to say, I can't speak for you, but I'm going to say 8.
I don't know. I don't think we have an obligation to work a full 8 hours. Do you? You think you're...
Yes, Jason, I do feel like I have an obligation to work 8 hours.
I think if you are putting in 5.5 hours of work in an 8-hour day, that's pretty good. Think about like all the people who are like taking their smoke break or yip with the gossip or people sleeping with their coworkers. I mean, if you're working, yeah, you want to bag on the drum and all that. Did you do that on purpose?
Nope. Sometimes God just smiles on you.
You should say yes. That's the preparation that goes into this show every day. CBS News coming.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my 3rd order. I heard Jordana on WCCO Radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product. And I'm 70 years old, so. And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Comprehensive coverage, consequential context. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty today to charges he lied to Congress 5 years ago. It's a case that's raised questions about whether the Justice Department is targeting President Trump's political adversaries. CBS's Scott McFarland was at the courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia.
The theater we expected outside didn't happen. There was talk and reporting earlier that there was an effort to get a perp walk, one of those photographed walks of a defendant into this courthouse for James Comey. That did not happen this morning. He was given a private, secure entrance out of the view of cameras.
The judge has set a trial date of January 5th.
That trial date is as slippery as it gets, in part because the prosecution argued today this is a complicated case, which could involve a review of classified information. James Comey doesn't have a security clearance anymore, nor does his defense attorney. That's going to take some time.
Authorities have charged a 29-year-old man with igniting a January fire that killed 12 people and destroyed the Pacific Palisades neighborhood of Los Angeles. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley.
The allegations in the affidavit are supported by digital evidence, including the defendant's ChatGPT prompt of a dystopian painting showing in part a burning forest and a crowd fleeing from it.
Jonathan Rendernecht was arrested in Florida yesterday. Jim Krasula reports on a closely watched immigration case in Southern California.
A federal judge in Los Angeles has ordered the removal of agents who have been guarding a man who was badly hurt in an immigration raid at a Southern California car wash in late August. The man was handcuffed to a hospital bed for more than a month. Lawyer Jean Rees is representing the man.
I think it's part of kind of these very aggressive tactics that are being used by this administration in enforcing immigration law.
The government shutdown continues, and there's no sign of any progress on Capitol Hill. Correspondent Nancy Cortez reports what the White House is willing to do is also unclear.
According to the president, what's at stake is back pay, employment for federal workers by the thousands, but he hasn't exactly followed through on those threats yet. And in fact, the nature of those threats keeps changing.
President Trump said today he may go to the Middle East in the coming days if there's progress in the peace talks on Gaza. The U.S. Marshals say the only escaped inmate who remained on the run after a New Orleans jailbreak in May has been captured. 10 men broke out of the jail. Derek Groves evaded authorities for nearly 5 months. On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Nasdaq at a record high. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny, 62 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Minneapolis police are investigating after a prominent Jewish synagogue was defaced by vandals overnight. Temple Israel senior rabbi Marcia Zimmerman calls the attack deeply painful, saying it was not a political statement, but a clear act of hate.
It is a reality here, but there's also the underbelly of every city, of every state, and that is one of blaming and hurt and violence. And this is what we have to really fight against.
Zimmerman says messages scrawled on the building included code words used by Hamas in the October 7th terror attack on Israel 2 years ago, as well as red triangles, which she called shorthand for violence against Jews and Israelis. No arrests have been made. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara will be talking about the Temple Israel vandalism, as well as a fatal shooting at a bar in downtown Minneapolis last night. Happened around 11:40 at Bar Zia on the 400 block of 4th Street South. A 21-year-old was killed following a fight, and 3 others were injured. Minnesota faith leaders taking their power to the state capitol steps for the next several days. Hundreds of clergy members have signed a letter to Governor Walz demanding a special session on guns and a ban on assault-style weapons. Reverend Ingrid Rasmussen is with Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Minneapolis.
That is a visible sign of the breadth and depth of our shared moral concern in this moment. Over 750 clergy are clear. This is not a partisan issue anymore. This is a moral one.
Rasmussen says 30-minute prayer sessions will be held outside the Capitol at noon for the next 6 days as they wait for action. Governor Walz expressing concern over the Trump administration potentially deploying the National Guard to Minnesota. He says he's talking to other governors and states where this has already happened to prepare for a similar situation here.
We're trying to figure out what would that chain of command and communication look like, and how would we talk to the public? Because I just want to be clear. All of this is meant to be a distraction from a government shutdown, from an economy that's not working, from soybean farmers collapsing, from Epstein files and all of that. This is not meant to make an impact truly on crime.
This comes as members of the Texas National Guard were mobilized by the president and sent to Chicago this week. It is mushroom season across Minnesota, which comes with a warning.
While most wild mushrooms growing in Minnesota won't cause severe illness if consumed, there is one known as the destroying angel, which is cause for concern. Dr. John Cole is the medical director of the Minnesota Regional Poison Center at HCMC.
One mushroom, if you ate the whole thing, is enough to cause full-on liver failure and even death.
Dr. Cole says Poison Center calls increased during the fall due to wild mushrooms, whether it's kids or mushroom hunters ingesting them. Many times the symptoms include an upset stomach, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea.
And for most of those people, they end up with maybe some IV fluids and some medicine to calm their stomach, stop the vomiting. And as they process through the mushroom, they do okay.
Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm sorry, the what? What is it called?
The destroying angel mushroom.
You know, I dated a destroying angel
Yeah.
in my younger years.
How'd that go for you?
I am afraid of mushroom kind of foraging.
Me too. I would not eat a mushroom that I just pulled out of the ground.
And like, I'll eat just about anything, you know, but like the mushroom bit, I'm just a little nervous about it.
Me
I don't
too.
know.
If you know exactly what it is and that it's no big deal, fine.
Well, how
but
can
I
you-
don't know anything about
Yes,
mushrooms.
and how can you tell the difference? Like on our YouTube stream right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, I have been putting up pictures of these mushrooms. And they're beautiful. Like, this is what I'm reading.
Oh, I can see on Dan's computer.
Aren't they lovely?
Yeah.
They're kind of creamy white in color, and one of the deadliest known to exist. Now, this
Yeah.
is also true of angels here on earth. Often the most beautiful can be the most deadly, the most destructive. It's like when you date a really hot girl and you're like, it can be very destructive.
I think that's a conversation for Dan, not for Laura.
What do we know? Very good. You should do the time.
Okay. It is 4:07 on WCCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems continue up on the north side of the metro for eastbound 694. It is currently closed, the area of County Road 10, because of an injury crash. Traffic using the ramp to and from Snelling Avenue, so it could be a while before things are cleared out of the way. Again, 694 eastbound closed near County Road 10, traffic using the Snelling Avenue ramp. Things are jammed up traffic-wise if you're headed that way past the area of Highway 65. Traveling to 94 westbound, get your slowdowns, typical stuff, Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. 10 westbound jamming up at Hanson Boulevard. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Moderna. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Warmer air and a bit of a breeze should keep us from getting frost overnight tonight. It's still going to be chilly, though, falling back to 45. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high up near 70. It will be a breezy day. Friday, slightly cooler with a high of 68. Highs around 70 this weekend.
Sunny right now, 62 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, sure, coffee wakes you up, but WCCO makes you sharp. A critical part of your daily routine. At News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
I mean, who of you has dated a destroying angel? 651. Should we just turn it into that? I'm trying to think, who is the most destructive person I've ever dated? Welcome to Drive Time. I don't know. That'd be fun. If you have stories, let's go. 651-461-9226. I hate to compare another human being to a poisonous fungi.
I'm not really getting the feeling that you hate to do that. That's not the vibe I'm gathering.
I 0% hate to do that.
Yes, I think that's true.
The most destructive person I ever dated. So I dated this cheerleader in high school. And, oh, man, I was head over heels for this girl. We met at speech camp, which right there, what a romantic story. She's the first girl I ever kissed. And she was from a different suburb of me. And we met at this like week-long forensics in Minnesota. They call it forensics. It was not a like, you have a lisp, come to speech camp. It was like competitive, high school speech. And our first like post speech camp date, we both took the Metro, took the train. She was from Glen Ellen. I was from Des Plaines. We took the train into Chicago. And I don't even remember what we did on this date, but I remember we were on, it was like out of a movie. We were on the train platform and we had a little kiss right before she got on the train and off she went. And it was wonderful. But one of the things she told me is that her last boyfriend was the quarterback of the football team. Which, I mean, to be honest, when you go for the quarterback of the high school football team to the guy who does the morning announcements and introduces the marching band at halftime,
that's a shift.
It's a shift. I'm not saying it's a step down.
I didn't say up or down. It's just a shift.
It's a dramatic shift. And I think she never quite got over that shift. And I never stopped like trying to prove that I was good enough.
Sure. Which probably is not healthy for a relationship, but
we went.
Hence the destructiveness.
It was a little destructive. We dated once, broke up. She dumped me because like she had a homecoming dance that she didn't invite me to, which was hurtful. I thought that was hurtful. And so we broke up. But and she dumped me. So it's not like I had some dramatic stand for myself. But we did go for another go round on the dating wheel. And this time I got to dump her. So it worked out fine.
Not that you
worked out fine.
Began the second round with the express intention of gaining some sort of evenness.
No.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I really like this girl, and I thought like it was gonna this time it would work. It would be good.
It is remarkable the number of red flags that you will ignore when you think you're out kicking your coverage. As a guy, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself.
For sure.
I can think of several relationships that I've been in where there's no way I shouldn't have known.
Right.
This was not going to be healthy. This was not going to work out. And you think you're batting above your average, and you're like, okay, well, that's other stuff. That's just whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh, 100. I mean, I was the morning announcement guy. I don't think it gets nerdier. No cheerleader at my school. Well, chess club.
I mean, there's levels. There's levels. That's plenty nerdy.
I'm just talking like it doesn't get nerdier where you're actually going to be able to date a girl.
Sure.
Like I was at the bottom rung of that. Maybe it's better today. Maybe
could be.
Do they allow kids on? I bet they don't even allow kids on the intercom now.
Probably.
Do they have intercoms?
I have no idea.
They probably have like closed circuit TVs.
Probably just beam it right into the kids' brains.
I used to go into the assistant principal, Eldon Burke's office every Monday and Friday. Me and my friend Eric, who was on the show last week, we did the morning announcements, and the coaches would write it up or whatever. And one of these, so like we had a wrestling team, and the wrestling team, they had like whatever. Wrestling didn't exactly have cheerleaders, but it was like a support. I don't know what you would call it, like a fan club.
Sure.
The Wrestlerettes. And so the Wrestlerettes would write up the morning announcements. So like we didn't get to read this stuff ahead of time. It was just you go in the
reading it cold?
Yeah, you just go in the office. Eldon Burke gives you a stack of papers, and this is what trained me to be the skilled broadcaster I am today.
It's a lot of Ron Burgundy potential there.
Well, in one of these announcements, the girls had written like, all of the results of whatever the last meet was. And then it was like thanks for a great season. We love you, the Wrestlerettes.
Okay.
And that was my last announcement. Well, it didn't say the Wrestlerettes. It just said we love you.
Oh.
And so that was the last one. So I'm reading it cold. And then
you added Wrestlerettes?
Well, no, I just said, thanks for the great season and we love you. And then I realized what I said. And it was time to introduce Eric. So I said, and now before I continue handing it over to Eric Palm, Eric, I just want to thank you for the great season. And I love you. So like I'm doing comedy. Yeah. I'm doing like zany,
it's good improv
transitions.
Sure.
And Eric was like, not quite know what to do with that.
There was a stunned silence.
It's fine. That's fine. One texter has dated a destroying devil. Not quite the same.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fair.
As the destroying angel. Another texter is going to name their next daughter Amanita Verna, which I believe is the Latin, that's the genus species of the destroying angel mushroom. I wanted to talk about public bathrooms because Dan, I know you're sort of bathroom agnostic, right?
Correct.
If you gotta go,
you gotta go.
Do you care?
Not really.
Do you rate a bathroom when you like, oh, this was a nice one, this was a crappy one, so to speak?
I don't. It's very rare that I would go into a public restroom and notice that it's really nice.
Okay. That checks out with you.
Right. The ones that are like specifically like not well maintained and pretty extra sketchy.
Yeah.
Those will stand out for sure.
So my wife hates public bathrooms. Hates. And she will go out of her way to find a, like a restaurant bathroom or something like that, as opposed to like a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like a gas station bathroom. I like on a drive. I like to.
You like carrying around like the hubcap attached to the key kind of thing?
I do. I like to see, like, I'm always curious. Like, do I have to walk around the outside?
Yeah.
Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be a flush toilet, or is it going to be a hole? You never know.
You don't. Are you going to get on that like tile flooring and feel like you're sliding around and gee, what's creating that sensation? Yeah.
Or the worst is when your shoes, and women don't face these problems. Women, like, honestly, I don't know why any of you women ever date any of us men.
It's a conundrum.
We are disgusting human beings.
Completely.
So the men's public restroom is truly, it's a war zone. Like Donald Trump wants to say American cities are a war zone.
Send the National Guard into the second floor bathroom.
Yes. Yes. Honestly, that would be a president we could all get behind.
100%.
Send the National Guard in.
When's the last time you were in the third floor bathroom in this building? Pristine.
Yeah. Well, how many guys are working up there or are using it? I don't know.
I don't know about using it, but there's several that work up there.
Yeah, true. So back in TV, I was there at 3 a.m, 3:30, whatever. And I would go use the bathroom. And when your dress shoes kind of stick to the floor,
not good.
By the urinals.
Yeah, not good.
So I would go mop. I would mop the bathroom because whatever, like somebody's got to clean it up.
True.
So I would go mop. And which was always a funny sight if I were doing this between 7 and 8 and some guest in the building would be in there and it'd be like, here's your morning news anchor wearing a suit and makeup, mopping the floor. But you know what? I'm willing to pitch it. It was that disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, it'd have to be an extra level of disgusting before I'm going to grab them up.
So a Minnesota bathroom in Ely was just crowned 2025 America's best restroom. Now, before I just absolutely shred the reality of this, first of all, kudos to you, Bearhead Lake State Park, because I'm looking at the pictures of this restroom, and if you're watching on the stream, you can check this out, but it looks pretty much like a standard restroom to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it looks fine. I'm not mad about it, but it just looks like a pretty standard public restroom.
Sure.
Is there a beautiful public restroom that kind of jumps into your mind? What is
now that picture though?
That looks a little nicer.
That's very much nicer.
That is from Cintas. In Cintas, like they make, your toilet bowl cleaner, your soap dispenser, that sort of thing. It is fully accessible. It has outside dishwashing sinks. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is because it's at the campground, right? Well, now that I'm seeing more of these pictures, I'm going to dial down my hate.
Okay. Yeah, that first shot wasn't anything special, but
this building project cost $1.8 million.
Whoa.
It's one of several park restrooms updated last year and this year throughout Minnesota. Now, Minnesota has a bit of a history of award-winning public restrooms because our airport won one year. So I want to know, where's the best pooper? Where is your best public bathroom? 651-461-9226. We'll share already the text coming in. We'll share some of your favorite. I mean, don't be afraid to give them away. I want to know your best spots when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindahl loves a clean bathroom. I'll tell you that much. It's Jason here for Chris Lindahl and Chris Lindahl Real Estate. The reality is sometimes you inherit a house or there's a divorce or there's some situation where you got to sell a house. And you might look at the restroom in that house and you might say, like, this thing is old, outdated. Old fixtures, that toilet bowl has that extra ring around the rosy that you don't want to deal with. And you're thinking like, man, if I'm going to put this house on the open market, I got to fix this stuff up. I got to spend, how much money am I going to have to spend to put this house on the market? Well, Chris Lindahl in the Guaranteed Cash Offer says, flush your worries. Flush your worries. Because Chris is going to solve all of it for you. If you have a bunch of junk in your house, you do not have to clear it out. You do not have to call one of those services. Just call Chris Lindahl. Or go to the website, chrislindahl.com. At Chris Lindahl's Guaranteed Cash Offer, he does all of the work for you. In fact, you can get cash so quickly, Chris can get you to closing within 2 days. 2 days separating you from cash. 2 days separating you from moving forward with your life. Just make the call and cash the check. Let's go. 763-401-SOLD is the phone number. But you can get a Guaranteed Cash Offer started right now at chrislindahl.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
Hey, Dave Lee here for Aquarius. Ready or not, it's coming. The season of frozen toes and icy windshields. But here's the good news. Aquarius Home Services is now offering a $29 furnace tune-up. Yep, for only $29. They'll give your furnace a full checkup, go over all the details and recommendations to set you up for a worry-free winter. And don't forget to ask about their no breakdown guarantee. You got to hurry. This hot deal won't last. Visit AquariusHomeservices.com today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Yes, that was an interesting experiment. It worked to a certain extent. It's arguably gone too far, and we should do everything we can to speed up that train.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are about 5 or 6 minutes away from Enough, our segment where you get to let her rip, vent, whatever you sick and tired of. If you don't want to wait, you can send in your Enough to the voice message hotline. You do that on the Odyssey app, right where you're listening to WCCO Radio. Go to the Odyssey app. There's a microphone right next to where you listen live, and you can send us a message. What are you fed up with? What have you had enough of? What is grinding your gears? So we'll do that for you live in a couple minutes. We are talking about best restroom in America. Doug says best restroom in town is the Varsity Theater in Southeast Minneapolis, over by the U.
I've been to the Varsity Theater, but I don't recall that using their facility.
Cleaning the restroom is an honorable task for everyone, says the texter.
Sure.
In response to me mopping the restroom at WCCO Television, this texter cleans restrooms. Absolutely. There's no job. There is no job that I'm above.
I think we could find one.
What do you think? Go ahead.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I feel like...
I mean, you are a man of the people. I don't deny.
Cleaning a restroom, that's fine.
Mucking out horse stalls.
I do it.
Okay.
I'd do it. Yeah, what's the most disgusting job out there?
I mean, they made a whole TV show out of it, so.
Yeah. Like sort of the cleaning out the, I don't know, not the sewers, but yeah, I bet that'd be pretty.
Our number one listener in the state of Florida, says that the best bathrooms in the world are at Buc-ee's. Or what did you call them?
Bookies is what
something like that. Yeah, Buc-ee's. Yeah.
All right.
I buy that.
Buc-ee's is we don't have them here
yet.
Why do you think people are so obsessed with like gas station chains that we don't have? Like, we have good gas stations.
Sure.
Holiday is great. Quick Trip is fabulous.
Sure.
Do we think Buc-ee's is really, their bathrooms are better than like some of the new Quick Trips that we have around town? Give me a break. It's just we don't have it. So we're like, oh, we wish we had this. It's so cool. Come on. My best pooper is 12 days out of the year. It's behind, this is me reading a text. Just to be clear.
Might have been wanting to clarify that in the front end, but go ahead.
I just like to get right at it.
Sure, go right for it.
Yeah. Behind the giant slide at the state fair where it's a single restroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know exactly what, because there's a common area restrooms.
Yeah.
And then on the side.
Yeah, on the side.
Like almost directly across from our booth. They do have what there's, I think it's supposed to be family restrooms, but then you get there at the right time.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
You know, if you're a single person, you're also part of a family.
So now, this is interesting. A commercial remodel carpenter is telling me unequivocally women's bathrooms are far more disgusting 9 out of 10 times, not even close. Huh. My wife is warranted in finding a nice one. And then this texter gives some details that I'm going to spare you from.
I appreciate that.
So Mike says library bathrooms are usually pretty clean.
That makes sense.
Jason, I was harvesting corn for 14 hours yesterday. I find the best restroom to be leaning up against the tractor tire. You know, that's just a little extra nitrogen in the soil.
Circle of life.
I think it's fine. The things we do to bring food to your table. Now, another texter says the public restrooms at the Masters in Augusta are by far the best in the world. Huh. And you never get a photo because there's no phones allowed.
Right.
But they have those attendants.
I suppose those count as public, right? Even though it's a private course.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member to use the bathroom, I don't think.
Jason, I love me a bathroom that has loud music playing in it. I agree with
you.
Because there are several things you don't want in a public restroom.
Loud noises of not music kind are one of them.
The grunting?
Yeah.
Somebody who's really working on something?
Yeah.
No.
Which, sometimes you got to do.
I wish you would do that at home.
Well, but sometimes you don't have a choice.
Favorite bathroom is the closest one I can get to without having an accident.
I mean, that's important.
Texter says Quick Trip bathrooms, especially the new ones, are the best. Holiday, hit and miss. Speedway are generally not very nice. See, this is what
breaking it down.
There's a Blue Sky account that rates toilet paper in public restrooms on like a A through F scale. And I think like there's nothing worse than like the 1-ply.
Yeah.
Boof.
You gotta like
my
5 feet of it.
All my dad bought was generic stuff in our house.
Sure.
Like the old school generic when it was like a white bag with black block letter type on it.
Basically tissue paper.
My mom drew the line at generic toilet paper.
Good call by mom.
She's like, Gare, if you want to ever use the bathroom in this house again, you're getting the Charmin. So we go 2-ply at our house.
Solid.
That's what it's like to be rich. Everybody deal with it. Sorry. 432. Enough is coming up. We want to know what is driving you bonkers. Enough. In just a minute. 651-461-9226. What are you sick and tired of? It can be silly. It can be serious. Whatever you got. We want to hear it. and we will either validate you or tell you that you are a big pile of number 2. So that's coming up here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, this division's weak. The Twins will run away with it by August.
What some of you were saying coming into this baseball season.
They might need to trade Buxton. He can't stay healthy.
Best bullpen in the league. They'll for sure keep this group together for years.
I don't know if Simeon Woods Richardson is really a big league arm.
Well, you got this whole offseason to get your story straight for 2026.
I bet we have great weather this summer. Should break attendance records.
The Twins are back in 2026 on News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. We know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. Our unique Advent approach using simple, ultra-effective in-office solutions can do just that. And that's why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
It's storm season. That means nature's fury can and will cause damage to your roof. When it does, that. Day Twin City wide emergency. Joe Brothers Construction will repair or replace your roof from nature's wrath. They'll also work with your insurance company to ensure all the I's are dotted and all T's are crossed. Brian and his team truly take the hassle out of a terrible situation. Working with Brian and his crew will give you peace of mind because it was done right. Just contact Joe Brothers Construction for no obligation, free and full inspection. Online at JoeBrothersConstruction.com. That's J-O-B-E, Joe Brothers Construction, handling all your roofing, siding, windows, and gutter needs. Joe Brothers Construction. They get the job done right. JoeBrothersConstruction.com.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/try. QUO.com/try.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
694 eastbound near County Road 10. The injury crash has been cleared. All lanes have opened up, but it is jammed and crammed traffic-wise as you come in East 694. As far back as Highway 100, the area of 100, heading out to the scene of where the wreck was. East 394 plugged up as make up between 100 and downtown Minneapolis. South Metro watching some slowing. Cedar South across the Minnesota River Bridge. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
No one knows Twin Cities businesses like locals. With decades of experience here in the Twin Cities, Robert Half connects skilled professionals in finance, technology, admin, and more. Visit roberthalf.com/Twin Cities.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, the forecast is brought to you by Robert Half. We appreciate them. You can check them out at roberthalf.com/Twin Cities. Here is Chris Schaefer.
A little milder overnight tonight, falling back to the mid-40s. There'll be a bit of a breeze in the air tomorrow. A southerly wind 10 to 15, but partly cloudy with a high near 70. Mostly sunny, 68 Friday. Should be dry Saturday with a chance of showers on Sunday.
Right now, it is 63, mostly sunny out there on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Brutal. It was giving me headaches and making me nauseous. I don't know if I'm getting used to it, but thankfully it didn't bother me as much. It wasn't as oppressive as it has been.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
Oh, it's your time to get your beefs off your chests. What are you sick and tired of? What have you had enough of? 651-461-9226. Text already coming in. And we got a lot queued up. I feel like my level of frustration this week at the world has been pretty low. Usually I can tell you why. Why do I not have a long list of enoughs?
Can I guess?
You can guess.
My guess is because you're getting on a plane this weekend and headed towards a beautiful locale. And so how bad can life really be?
Life's pretty great.
Yeah.
Life's pretty great for me. I am going to Greece on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be gone until October 22nd.
Not bad.
Not bad. No. And how could I have a complaint today?
Oh, I'm sure you can figure something out.
Yeah.
I could start if you want.
Yeah, I have some complaints. You know what? And you can call in. Already the call's coming in at 651-461-9226. Texters are letting it rip. I've had enough of my lazy, messy coworker who complains about everything, but never comes up with solutions to their non-issues. I started doing their job on top of my own to show our manager how things should be and how they are lacking in organizational skills. AJ, that is brutal, right? When you're in a workplace and you don't want to let the bosses win by you doing twice as much work, right, for nothing. And it's a tough one. That is a tough one. The Mini Leaf song and the Cars for Kids song. I do think if you were to sort of add up over the length of the time that we've done the Enough segment, the Mini Leaf song and the Cars for Kids song, probably the top two. I guess what I would ask you guys is why do you hate kids so much?
Well, and what I would inform the listeners is that when the Mini Leaf song plays, they just hear the Mini Leaf song. I hear the Mini Leaf song and the Jason DeRusha addendum to the Mini Leaf song.
That's true.
And if you think just the Mini Leaf song's annoying, let me tell you what.
Dan gets very annoyed when I
don't just say period. Dan gets very annoyed.
I don't want to take your enough, but me singing along to jingles really appears to agitate you.
It's not even the singing along so
whistling?
much as
Is it
in
the whistling.
The whistle. It's the piercing nature of both the whistling and the note that you hit mini Leaf song.
Huh?
That's the part where it's a little fingernails on the chalkboard for me.
Didn't know John Bream was in here music criticking my efforts. Jane in Forest Lake. Jane, if you like, I will sing the Mini Leaf jingle for you if that would help.
That would take a hard pass, but thank you.
You're well.
Thank you, Jane.
Wanted to put the offer out there. What have you had enough of, Jane?
You know, why is it that the people that aren't getting their job down in D.C. are getting paid, and those that are still going to work are not getting paid? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So,
and I don't think it's fair.
Do you mean the Congress? The Congress people?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Why are they getting paid? They shouldn't be getting paid. They didn't do their job.
Jane, I would be in favor of passing a law that would mandate anytime you shut down the government, you shut off congressional pay and no back pay. I don't like this sort of the way that the president is kind of dangling this back pay thing out for the innocent federal workers, right? All these workers who are kind of caught in between that. I don't like that. But I would happily do that for the Congress people. I think if I were an elected official, I would give that money back. I would be embarrassed to take that money.
Well, I think that should be at a local level as well.
Yeah.
When they can't get it done at the Capitol, they shouldn't be getting paid. They shouldn't be getting extra per diem. They shouldn't be getting extra pay when they're putting state workers out of it. I mean, it makes no sense. You have a certain amount of time. You know when the beginning of the session is. You know when the end is. There should be no special session.
Jane,
worrying about potlucks and about a bunch of other nonsense.
Let's get Jane running for office. I like it. I agree with
No, thank you.
No, thank you is right. Thanks, Jane. I appreciate it. Jane's right. And honestly, it offends me when you have this like, well, maybe we won't give back pay to the.
Yeah.
No. Now, I do wish that our government wasn't funded the way we're funding it. I think we are making a choice to have this kind of authorization keep coming up over and over again.
Continuing resolution.
So I think we could change the system where if you don't pass a continuing resolution, the government continues being funded at the level that was set before.
Yeah.
So we're sort of forcing this issue because the politicians like the politician.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we don't need to do it this way.
That's also the unfortunate reality or about the idea of passing a law to say that if, the government shut down, politicians don't get paid. The problem is it's the politicians that have to pass that law.
Yeah.
And good luck trying to find more than a handful of these fools that will actually act against their own self-interest like that.
Jason, enough of people talking loudly on their phones in public.
Oh, boy.
Of course you're special, but we aren't interested in your meaningless gibberish. Have some consideration for those around you, you ignorant idiots, says the 507er. I do think it's fascinating that people get more annoyed at conversations others are having on their phone than they would if you were having a conversation with another person. Now, is it possible that people are louder on their phones?
Yes.
Yes. But do you think it's significantly louder than two people having a conversation?
I mean, I don't know about significantly. That's, kind of a fluid word. What I'll say is this, with it's two people, you're hearing both sides of the conversation, and now it's kind of a gossipy thing, where if it's just one person talking loudly on the phone, you only get one in the conversation, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So now you're frustrated because you don't know what's going on, and they're being loud and annoying you. It's a double whammy.
Yeah. I think people, frankly, are whining a little bit about nothing when it comes to that issue.
Well, I mean,
hate to dismiss.
Kind
of
the entirety of this entire segment, don't you think?
That's fair. That's fair. Jason, I've had enough of pumpkin spice.
Okay.
That's
what was supposed to be replacing that? Was it like a pecan?
Pecan.
Thing? Yeah. Doesn't seem to have happened.
I don't think pecan is as versatile as pumpkin spice.
I haven't heard a lot of people talking about the pecan.
No, and I haven't seen it. Like I was at a coffee shop right before the show today, and I did not see like a pecan latte like you do with the pumpkin spice latte. For me, I don't need any of this stuff in my coffee.
No.
You can put milk in there.
And sugar.
That's it.
That's all you need.
But a lot of people like to drink all of that stuff, and so
good on them. They're willing to pay for it. Go do it.
I guess that's my issue on pumpkin spice. You can tell I'm just in a good mood. My mood is so wrong for this show today.
It really, really is.
Because, who cares if other people are having pumpkin spice? I understand that, 9 out of 10 days on this show, a lot of the things that I'm going to say I'm irritated about could be filed in the who cares category.
The trick is we've got another 14 minutes to fill this hour, so you got to start caring.
You need me to get mad about something?
Start caring about something here.
All right. I'll work on it. Jason, enough of Jason DeRusha not being Grand Marshal of the Maple Grove Day.
Absolutely. Come on, Maple Grove. Let's go.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure I'm more mad about that than you are, but
no, I've gotten over it. I've gone on the arc of anger.
That's what I'm saying.
For a while. I'm not gonna lie.
I achieved acceptance. I haven't yet.
I was legitimately angry about that. I mean, I've done so much for that community.
You really have.
And they can't repay me with a ceremonial sash and the ability to ride first in the parade?
Not only can they not do it, they intentionally brush you off about it. Well, you don't fit this particular category.
Yeah.
We usually reserve it for this.
I was good enough for
just one time.
Good enough for Roseville.
Right.
Good enough for Inver Grove Heights. Good enough for South St. Paul.
Silly.
Minneapolis and St. Paul. Minneapolis gave me my own day.
Proclamation and everything.
Maple Grove gave me the finger. Sad.
Awful.
Should move out. Teach them a lesson.
That's right.
Let's break. Let's break. 651-461-9226. More enough. And perhaps my defense of my own ego. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
The 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship is coming to Minnesota in December.
He scores! Team USA has gone back to back!
This isn't just a tournament, it's where hockey history is written by the best young players in the world right in front of your eyes.
The opportunity for it to be in the state of hockey, I think we need to represent the United States how they should be.
Single game tickets are on sale now, starting at just $39. Visit worldjuniorsmn26.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly Open Phone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/try. QUO.com/try.
A dry winter can cause crack, itchy skin, and sore throats. Getting a whole home humidifier from Metro Heating and Cooling can help you get in the comfort zone on price and performance. Visit metroheating.com.
Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Chris before you list.
I canceled my house off the open market, said yes to a guaranteed cash offer, and paid 0 commissions.
Call Chris before you list.
I heard horror stories from friends trying to sell on the open market, and I didn't want to go through all that stress.
Call Chris before you list.
I was seeing for sale signs everywhere, and I didn't want to go through all of the headaches of listing a house, so I called for a guaranteed cash offer instead.
Call Chris before you list.
It's Chris Lindahl, and the open market is full of unsold homes and frustrated sellers. That's why the smart sellers are saying no to sleepless nights and saying yes to a guaranteed cash offer on their house. If you're afraid of making a mistake in a tough open market, skip it entirely and call me before you list. And if you already have a house sitting on the open market, take it off before you waste another day waiting for buyers. Trade hassle and headaches for certainty and speed, and call Chris before you list.
Call Chris before you list.
Get your guaranteed cash offer today at chrislindahl.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow through downtown Minneapolis, not helping. East 94 crash over Highway 55 where the right 2 lanes are shut down. Traffic is slow as you make way through the Larry Hill Tunnel over to the scene of the wreck, and then again as you head into St. Paul past Dale Street. 694 eastbound, still watching slowdowns there from basically 252 heading up towards Snelling Avenue. 94 westbound, typical slowdowns past 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mNEXSpike.com. That's mNEXSpike.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Moderna. Tonight, 45 is the low temperature. You don't have to cover your begonias tonight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. I've had enough of telling people. And we're just getting started on that stupidity. Tomorrow, high of 70. Bring in your tomatoes. You know what? This morning, out on my deck, there was a squirrel that was enjoying those frost cherry tomatoes. Friday, 68. Partly cloudy and 70. Saturday as well. Right now, it is 64 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough!
Benjamin on YouTube points out who's using their phone to talk to people. This complaint about people talking too loudly.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Texters, other things they've had enough of news anchors on TV saying, take a look at this. Oh, that was a big consultant thing.
Was it?
The idea is you're going to get people to stop what they're doing because the video is going to be so compelling. And I used to do that when there was actually something to look at.
Right.
But now people are like, take a look at this. And it's just like.
It's the squirrel on water skis kind of thing?
Yeah. Not that good.
Can I give you mine?
Please.
I've had enough of me.
Of you?
Of my lack of patience, especially when driving. I was coming home yesterday from the Grand Casino Arena, thanks to the folks over the Wild, treated us very well.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a good mood.
Yeah.
And then I got on the freeway. And I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
And I'm a terrible driver. In terms of like driving skills, I'm just fine. But I get impatient with people who don't drive well. And then I get agitated, and then I start doing stupid stuff, and my brakes got to work out yesterday. I just say that.
What are you gonna do to kind of turn this
I don't know.
around?
Do I need to take like half a gummy? I don't know what, I just need to calm down when I'm driving.
Prior to driving, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's probably not a good idea, but you know what I'm saying.
I know. Yeah.
I just need to chill out.
Trying to chill out. It's hard. There is something about like being inside the walls of a car that gives you permission to sort of act in a way that you wouldn't in the normal world.
And just be really, really aggravated.
Yeah, I get mad in the car. I just let it out. I honk. Maybe you should start honking.
I mean, I will honk when there's a safety situation involved. But I'm a big believer that unless somebody's about to merge into me and I'm trying to alert them that I'm there, I'm not using.
Do you ever slam on the steering wheel, like slam the horn? That's what I do. I don't honk it necessarily,
no, you gotta,
but I give it like a whack.
Yeah.
That helps. If you had kids, you could smack them. That's what my parents.
No, that's a terrible idea. Why would you say that?
No. All right, I've had enough of being accused in a negative way of having a big ego. This is a clip from a podcast called 1 Hour Detours that I was on recently, and this clip was just released on social media. I am egotistical. I think I'm what I do.
Yeah.
I talk for 3 hours and have the hubris to think that people should listen to it every day. That is egotistical.
Yeah.
But we say it like it's an insult.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a big ego. Well, what do you want like a radio host to have? Like, just kind of a shy, humble guy. Like, what is that? Ego is fine. Arrogance is not. So that is not. That is the difference. That is the distinction that I make. I think for my entire career, CJ started this in the gossip column. And I don't blame CJ. Actually, I do blame CJ. But CJ writing about me supposedly having a big ego actually was great for me. Helped me get a name, helped me get, ironically, being accused of having a big ego was tremendous for my ego because my name was spelled correctly. I was a nobody reporter getting mentioned in the newspaper. Seemed pretty good to me. I do think that we mistake confidence and ego for arrogance and hubris. And I would make a distinction. But then it's possible I'm just splitting hairs.
Or justifying your own ego?
I had an English teacher who accused me of being cynical. She was like, Jason, you are so cynical. And I said, I am sarcastic, not cynical. It's different. She's like, it's not that different. When you try to get into a linguistic argument with an English teacher as a high school student, I think you've pretty much set the table for a future career as a talk show host, right? I'll argue with anybody. Thanks for all your texts. We do enough at different times of the day on Wednesdays, but glad to have you with us for it. CBS News is next.
Jim Klaus, a.k.a. Check a Pro Joe here. Tune in this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for my show, the Check a Pro Radio Show. My expert guest this week is A1 Garage Door Service. For more information, go to checkapro.com.
Homes aren't one size fits all, so why should your home insurance be any different? Farmers Home Insurance Packages offer coverage options you can tailor to fit you. Discover straightforward home coverage options and more by calling Farmers Agent Brad Sanford at 651-690-2076. That's Brad Sanford at 651-690-2076.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The first word on what Minnesota's talking about. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Day 8 of the government shutdown. There is no sign of progress on Capitol Hill, just some heated discussions.
For years, you always lectured about how we need to keep the government open.
You're making a show of this to make yourself relevant.
It's sad. You could easily sign on to
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
And there are growing concerns among federal workers and others. Sarah Nelson is with the Association of Flight Attendants.
What could be more of a distraction than not getting a paycheck? Right. Not knowing if you're going to be able to keep your family in your home. Not knowing if you're going to be able to buy that insulin that you need to keep your child alive.
And the shutdown is taking a toll on the IRS, as Linda Kenyon reports.
A notice posted on the IRS website says the agency will furlough nearly half its workforce. The IRS previously experienced a workforce reduction due to cuts implemented under the Department of Government Efficiency. Last year, the IRS had some 100,000 workers. The furloughs during the government shutdown will leave it with less than 40,000 employees.
Texas National Guard troops spent their first night at a U.S. Army Reserve Center in Illinois as the state challenges their deployment. Governor J.B. Pritzker responded to President Trump's social media post that he should be jailed for failing to protect ICE officers.
Look, he's a coward. He says a lot of things to the camera. He likes to pretend to be a tough guy. Come and get me. Come and get me.
Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty today to lying to Congress 5 years ago. CBS's Scott McFarland reports the case has thrown a spotlight on the Justice Department's efforts to target the president's political adversaries.
It's such a bare-bones charging document. So little is actually alleged in here. We don't know specifically the false statement James Comey is accused of making.
A 29-year-old man has been charged with sparking one of the worst wildfires in California history, the Palisades fire that killed 12 people and burned down hundreds of homes and businesses. Mayor Karen Bass.
The news of the arrest of the individual that did such a heinous act
just re-raises all the trauma. It sends you back to the day.
Matt Piper reports the last escapee from a New Orleans jailbreak is back in custody months later.
Derek Groves' arrest marks the end of a months-long multi-agency manhunt that began after he and 9 other inmates escaped from the Orleans Parish Jail on May 16th. Groves was taken into custody in a house in Atlanta after a brief standoff. The 28-year-old had the most violent criminal record of the escapees, convicted of murder, and was facing a possible life sentence before the jailbreak.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Nasdaq finished at another record high. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly clear, 62 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Twin Cities Jewish leaders are condemning what they call an act of hate after a prominent Minneapolis synagogue was vandalized overnight. Temple Israel senior rabbi Marcia Zimmerman says messages scrawled on the building included code words used by Hamas in the October 7th terror attack on Israel 2 years ago and several red triangles.
The red triangle references imagery circulated by Hamas and other terrorist organizations in videos of attacks on Israeli soldiers, and these symbols have become shorthand for violence against Jews and Israelis.
Minneapolis police are investigating. There have been no arrests yet. Chief Brian O'Hara at a press conference just moments ago.
An attack on any of our houses of worship is attack on all of us who believe in peace and community, regardless of anyone's religion.
O'Hara says they have increased police patrols at places of worship across the city. No arrests yet following a shooting in a busy part of downtown Minneapolis last night that left a man dead.
It happened around 11:40 last night at Bar Zia on the 400 block of 4th Street South in downtown Minneapolis. Minneapolis police say an altercation led to gunfire, that a 21-year-old man died at the scene. A second man and 2 women suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. They were taken to HCMC. One person was arrested for obstruction, but so far no arrests related to the shooting. Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A week of public prayer began today at the state capitol as faith leaders from across the state asked lawmakers for a ban on assault weapons.
750 clergies from 64 counties across Minnesota have signed a letter to Governor Walz demanding a special session on guns in the wake of the Annunciation School shooting in August that injured dozens and took the lives of 2 children. Reverend Ingrid Rasmussen with Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Minneapolis says there is a shared moral concern across leaders from all faiths on the issue.
This is about reclaiming our shared moral imagination and choosing love of neighbor over the politics of fear.
She says 30-minute prayer sessions will be held outside the Capitol at noon for the next 6 days as they wait for action. At the state capitol, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
And we close with a sad update on the 12-year-old Sartell boy who was gravely injured in a bike accident. The chief of police there sharing news that Raghav Shrestha's doctors determined there was no brain activity, and the family made the difficult decision to take him off life support today. The chief said Raghav's dream was to be a police officer when he grew up. Several of the officers who responded to his accident stood by his bedside this morning, pinned him with a badge, and swore the young man in as an honorary Sartell police officer. WCCO News Times, 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns in place, South 35W across the River Bridge as you head down toward Highway 13. 494 slowing eastbound run between the Bush Lake Roads and 35W. West 94, that's a slow ride as you come in from Riverside. East 94 over Highway 55. Got an accident last check blocking the right 2 lanes. Things still packed and stacked into Lauriel Tunnel. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034, or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Warmer air and a bit of a breeze should keep us from getting frost overnight tonight. It's still going to be chilly, though, falling back to 45. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high up near 70. It will be a breezy day. Friday, slightly cooler with a high of 68. Highs around 70 this weekend.
Mostly clear right now, 62 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Because someone has to know what's going on.
Hey, what's going on?
Stay one step ahead. Or at least sound like it. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Wednesday, October 8th, it is our third hour, 5 o'clock. Glad to have you with us here on Drive Time. It's Jason, Laura, keeping you updated on the news, and Dan, making sure we keep this thing on the tracks. I have 2 days until vacation. How much of a train wreck do you think our show's going to be on Friday?
It'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, you're all right. Like,
Tune
Dan
in.
already is like, Jason seems a little lighter in his step.
Yes.
He seems a little happier, a little
Yes.
more full of joy.
Definitely.
On my drive into work today, there was a gentleman lying down in the middle of the road.
Seems like a bad idea.
And I thought, I'm like, is this a protest? What is going on? And then a Minneapolis police car pulled up. And what a lot of people don't realize is those red and blue sort of flashing lights there's something that happens with that particular color of light that took this man and just brought him back to life. He immediately got up and left the area. And I'm in such a good mood. I wasn't even mad about a dude who was lying in the street.
Look at you.
Vacation, man. If you guys have vacation time left over and you're not using it, what are you doing?
Come on now.
Take your now. Do I take all of my vacation time?
Probably not.
By the way, did you notice we just got a meeting request for our boss to discuss like the zany drops?
Yeah, you really got under his skin with that one.
Every once in a while, you say something that's a little bit of a joke, a little bit serious, and it lands 1,000% serious.
Yep.
Should we be using our airtime to have...
He's going to text me again.
Do you guys like hearing these? Like, they're funny. I think they're especially funny when they're making fun of other programs and other hosts or making fun of me personally. That's fine. Do we have any of these that make fun of you?
Why would you make fun of me?
That's a fair question. It's a fair question. Let's do the DeRUSH Hour news headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
Are the troops coming to Minnesota? I don't know, man. I don't know what to believe today and what people are saying to try to get political advantage or get people going. But it is one of the biggest conversations in the state of Minnesota and throughout the country right now. Will the president of the United States send National Guard troops into our community? Illinois leaders are standing by to see what's next. The president on social media said and threatened that he was going to arrest the governor of Illinois, the mayor of Chicago. As a guy who grew up in Illinois, there is a proud history of Illinois governors getting arrested. But to be arrested for this sort of nonsense come on. Wait until Governor Pritzker does some good old-fashioned corruption like all of the other governors have done, and then arrest him. You can't pull a Blagojevich on the guy. for not wanting the Texas National Guard to be deployed in the middle of Chicago. We don't know what is happening there. Meantime, here, our governor, Tim Walz, has said they are preparing for National Guard troops should they be deployed to Minneapolis. Now, obviously, you have to get ready for that, right? Like if you are the mayor of a big city in a blue state right now and you are not making preparation for what you're going to do if the National Guard gets called out, well, to me, you're not doing your job. It is a very interesting question where you can ask Americans, do you want National Guard troops helping to reduce crime in our city? And I think most people would say, I want crime to go down. Would most American? Well, sometimes I wonder, should you be given a choice? Should you be given a choice to do something that is almost certainly a violation of federal law? I just think, man, if a governor or a mayor wants the National Guard, then let's figure out a way to get it done. But if they don't, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? We'll see what's next. But I do think everyone is getting what they want out of this, which is frustrating as a regular person who isn't particularly interested in all the posturing. But President Trump gets to look like he's big and tough and doing what he said. He's not going to wait for laws. He's not going to wait for people to call him. If the Democrats aren't going to fix crime in the big cities, I will. And then the Democrats get to say, look how mean Donald Trump is and how fascist he is. And so everybody gets what they want. In the meantime, is this what the Texas National Guard wants to be doing? I don't think so. I don't think if you were called up, if you are heroic enough to give your time to be a part of the Minnesota National Guard, is this what you want to be doing? I don't think so. Next up in the lead, there is a Minnesota college basketball team that is favored to win their league. Not the Minnesota, not the University of Minnesota, the University of St. Thomas. News just came out that their basketball program, this is preseason, but they were voted as the favorite to win their league. And this year will be the first chance with a new arena in St. Paul, their first chance that they could make it to the NCAA Big Dance, make it to the tournament. Pretty cool. Head coach of the University of St. Thomas men's basketball team, my friend John Tower, joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. And I know, Johnny, you're a sociology professor. I know that being a preseason favorite is whatever. It doesn't mean everything. But how are you kind of looking at this?
When I say preseason rankings don't mean anything, that's an overstatement because they are a good way for fans to get involved and invested. But I can tell you this, in the Summit League last year, the team that was picked first ended up 8th out of 9, and the team that was picked 8th preseason ended up 1st. And so, particularly in this transient world of college athletics where there's so much
we see it in football,
turnover.
right? We see it in college football right now. Texas was number 1. Clemson was number.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we have seen this play out where the preseason doesn't mean that much.
Yes, and so the volatility, the amount of change year to year is higher than ever. But it certainly is. I'm happy for our program and our university in the sense that I do think it brings positive attention and is more symbolic of what we've been able to accomplish the last several years.
John Tower is the head coach of the men's basketball program at the University of St. Thomas. It is exactly that, right? Like you guys have arrived. This year is your first opportunity to make it to postseason play, make it to the big dance. You have had turnover just like this is the reality of college basketball now, right? You lost 4 of your starters. Some graduate, some end up going to another program. That is the new reality for coaches to deal with.
It is, and you better embrace it. Now, I think retention's really important and being selective in who you recruit. So we've only had 5 kids in 4 years go into the transfer portal. I think it's one of the 5 lowest in the country out of 365 teams. And so we've been fortunate to retain a lot of our kids. And some of that, I think, is our culture. I think a lot of it's the university, and kids are really happy here. But it's still, as I say that, you have to be ready for a lot of new faces every year. Last year, we had 8 new faces, 5 freshmen, 3 transfers. This year, we have 4 transfers. And, they're doing a great job of blending in. But it is the new world of college athletics. And at some level, the new challenge is, how do you retain as many kids as you can? But then also, how do you teach and coach in a way that the learning curve may not be quite as long as it was in years past, where you might say, hey, by the kid's junior year, he's going to play. Well, that model, at least across the board, is not the way you can operate today.
Obviously, this season is big, where you have your new arena that'll be open. November 8th is that first home game against Army.
We just moved in this morning. So our players
how is it? How
arena.
is it?
I'm overlooking the practice gym right now and watching a kid take jumper after jumper. I mean, it's truly unbelievable. And so first and foremost, we're so grateful to Lee and Penny Anderson and all the donors who made this possible, because when people see this, I think it's as nice as anything in college basketball. And that's not hyperbole. That it's not the biggest place in the country. It's 5,300 seats, but I don't think there's anything that is more state of the art, that has more attention to detail, and not just for the players, but for the fans, for the community. I've been here 26 years, Jason, and it rarely do you have those moments where you're like, this is surreal. Like, I got to pinch myself, because one of my assistant coaches looked at me and he kind of was choked up just because of everything. The players were all there and their mouths were open. And so he was just sort of like, I can't imagine what it feels like for you being here 26 years. And now here we are today. And so first and foremost, I think fans get out to see this, because it's going to be a place that people want to gather. It's going to be a great place to watch basketball as well as hockey, but also just an unbelievable, I think, just community space.
It's so cool. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited for you.
We had our last practice in the old arena last night, which was a little nostalgic for me. And then here we are this morning. It was like a bunch of kids opening birthday or Christmas presents. It was pretty special.
It's cool. Big stuff happening in St. Paul and at the University of St. Thomas. John Tower, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Jason. Tickets.
One more headline, and that is that Dolly Parton is alive. Dolly Parton is alive. A very simple, innocent, sweet request by Dolly Parton's maybe more hysterical sister sent America into a frenzy because in this time, we can't lose Dolly. Frida Parton initially said she was up all night praying for Dolly, and she had asked for fans to pray for her. And she shared on Instagram a video today where she that
to the Grand Ole Opry, which is why I'm dressed kind of like a country western girl. But before I got started, I wanted to say, I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers, because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay. I've got some problems, as I mentioned, back when my husband Carl was very sick. That was for a long time. And then when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of. So anyway, when I got around to it, the doctor said, we need to take care of this. We need to take care of that. Nothing major, but
so
I did
she's
have to
all
cancel
right.
some things so I could be
She's
closer
all
to
right.
home,
Look,
closer to Vanderbilt.
If you are a
where I'm
sister
kind of having
of an American treasure like Dolly Parton, be a little more careful. Do not ask everyone to pray for Dolly, because we are going to freak out. But Dolly is alive and well. That's the DeRUSH Hour News headlines. The lead. Page 2 is coming your way in just a minute. We'll talk about the legislator who wants to bring surfing to downtown Anoka. Now the county has some things to say about that. A dignitary from a minor foreign country coming to visit us. We'll discuss that as well. And the DeRUSH Hour News headlines just a minute away.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan, can you remind me of something? I need you to remind me of something.
Sure.
Because tomorrow I have to go to JH and Son.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Remember to go to JH and Sons tomorrow.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful. Thank you, Dan, because I need to pick up a bunch of stuff for my trip to Greece. The team and this is the service that you can get when you go to JH and Son. So the team over there, my guy is Kevin. Your guy might be Bryce or Chuck. This is the thing about having a premium menswear store like this is that you'll have a guy. So my guy was like, I know you're going to Greece. I put aside some things that I think you want to take with you. So you'll be ready for the weather, but you'll also look good. You're in Greece. You should look good. We know my wife is going to look good. She has a head start in that category. I need JH and Sons. You do too. You can sign up for their email list. You'll be the first to know about sales or special events in store, jhandsons.com. But go get your own menswear expert, from tailored clothing to a nice date night to a vacation out of the country. They've got you covered. Galleria in Edina, that's where they're at. Check them out at jhandsons.com.
Let's go. You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you're planning on selling your home soon, you need to be in the know on the changes to the real estate market and our economy so that you can sell it for the most money possible. Hi, it's Benita. With interest rate fluctuation, talks of a recession, you want to be fully informed. If you're thinking of selling your home, my good friend, the Good Neighbor agent, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, along with Paul Douglas, will be hosting another free 45-minute online seminar. Learn the 5 mistakes most homeowners make when trying to sell, how to properly market a home in a balancing market, and 5 things you can do right now to make the most money. 4 webinar times, Tuesday, October 7th, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., Thursday, the 9th, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Space is limited. Sign up today. This is the last week to register. Only a few spots left. Go to johnschustergroup.com. Click the banner at the top of the page marked Home Seller Forum.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Is just garbage every day. It's doing us serious, serious damage.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, page 2, DeRUSH Hour news headlines here on CCO. We talked to a legislator not too long ago, and he had this sort of, I don't know, it sounded like a harebrained idea about bringing surfing to downtown Anoka.
And the city came to me, and they were interested in making some improvements to the dam, and they were looking at hydropower and, a few other improvements. And I was aware that this river surfing and whitewater rafting has been implemented in other Midwestern cities and other places around the world. And I said, you guys should look at this.
So that is Zach Stevenson, state representative. Now he's the House DFL leader from Coon Rapids. And, it sounded like Anoka's already coming up with some interesting things to make downtown cool. Why not spend some money on a pedestrian bridge over the Rum River that would potentially bring whitewater surfing to the river there? Well, Anoka County is now suing the state, calling this a boondoggle, which frankly, whenever you can accuse something of being a boondoggle, I think it's a win. You get to say boondoggle. You get to write it in a lawsuit. It's very good. So the county is saying, look, we had a plan for $6 million in transportation funds. We're going to improve trails in Columbia Heights. We're going to fix this underpass at a crossing in St. Francis, and we're going to make park upgrades in Andover and Coon Rapids. And now we're getting a dang pedestrian bridge over the Rum River when we have 2 other pedestrian bridges within a quarter mile. Doesn't make sense. So the lawsuit. Calling it nefarious is sort of ridiculous. The guy was on my radio show talking about it. It's not like this was a secret. There was a big article in the Star Tribune about it back in March when Zach Stevenson came on our show. The state legislation directed MnDOT to divert $6.2 million of Anoka's transportation funds to build this transportation overpass. This lawsuit would prohibit MnDOT from allocating that money without county approval. I sort of love it when relatively minor, well, how do I say this without being insulting? I love it when dignitaries from minor foreign countries come to visit us. You guys know what that is, right? Name that tune, 651-461-9226. Can you name that tune? If there's any media market in the country where someone might be able to name that tune, it's probably here. Just stirring. That is the Norwegian national anthem. And we had His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Haakon. Am I saying his name right? Who cares? He came to Norway House, and the pictures that you can see on our live stream on Facebook or YouTube or my X account shows throngs of, let's say, more experienced Minnesotans very excited to see their Norwegian Crown Prince. Now, the Norwegian Crown Prince, Dan, when you look at His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon, Haakon, who does he look like? He's not giving.
You're saying he doesn't look very royal or regal?
I don't know. He's got a nice suit. He's got a very nice suit.
He's got a little Prince William to him.
Yeah. I think he's a pretty good looking guy. Obviously, he stepped out of a Volvo.
Of course.
I don't know. It's all very funny. We don't get the big heavy hitters of the foreign dignitaries. And apologies to all Norwegians for referring to your country as minor. Greg Swan is right around the corner. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence being used for video creation, something even I tested out the other day. We'll talk about that. How do we know what we're seeing is real, and does it matter? That when we come back in a minute here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. Yeah, you could tell your friends about News Talk 830 WCCO, but why would you?
Oh, I got stuck behind 3 different wrecks on the way in.
Yeah, I left about a half an hour early.
Really? How'd you even know to do that? Come to think of it, you also called the Vikings game the other day. What's the deal?
Well, I can't give away the playbook, especially during the season.
Don't share your secret weapon. Keep CCO all to yourself and enjoy always being one step ahead. It's good to be in the know with News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. I recently had 2 sets of customers who had vastly different stories. One had purchased elsewhere 3 years ago and spent $5,000. And the other had purchased from OMF 12 years ago and spent $1,000. The difference? Our customer's mattress lasted 4 times longer and cost them 5 times less. Don't waste money on overpriced, overhyped mattresses. Visit the Original Mattress Factory for unbeatable quality and value. Sleep better, longer, for less.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Some slowing Cedar South as you move across the Minnesota River Bridge. If you're going to be moving on southbound 35W, kind of the same story. You come down from 106 feet to Highway 13. Got your heavy stuff there. Heavy traffic in place. 610 westbound is moved between 252 over to Broadway. 94 southbound slows into Lowry Hill Tunnel as moved past Highway 55. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Flint Hills Resources, Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemount. You see it as you drive by. Did you know they're celebrating 70 years of producing fuels that help move us forward? To learn more, go to pinebendrefinery.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. Here is our friend, Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A little milder overnight tonight, falling back to the mid-40s. There'll be a bit of a breeze in the air tomorrow. A southerly wind 10 to 15, but partly cloudy with a high near 70. Mostly sunny, 68 Friday. Should be dry Saturday with a chance of showers on Sunday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is 63 degrees here on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I mean, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
From viral chaos to tech, pretend to understand. What's next? Let's find out. This is Greg Swan Explains the Internet.
Greg Swan is with us for our monthly visit. Greg it's a delight to see.
Oh my gosh.
In the flesh.
What a Wednesday.
Because the truth is, the last time I saw you was on a video platform that I wasn't 100% sure that I was visiting with the guy from Finn Partner.
What is real anymore? I think that's what we're going to talk about today. Something broke last week. I think something broke.
What broke?
The notion that any video that you see online from anyone, any Joe Blow, is real, broke last week.
I've seen some AI videos before, and some of these AI videos you see are, you can identify the flaws. The text isn't quite right. The scene is too smooth. Those sorts of issues.
6 fingers, right?
Yeah.
So we lost internet connection in Waconia yesterday.
At the home office.
At the home office and cell phone signal. And you know what we did? We watched a DVD, Jason.
Whoa.
And we watched Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's 31 years old. Do you know what made Forrest Gump? The montages of putting him into famous scenes.
Yes.
Him with Elvis. Him with JFK. Him with with Nixon. And you knew when you watched it that it looked real.
Right.
Looked real. 31 years ago.
It was sort of
looked
magical,
real.
though.
It was
right?
magic. And also it kind of didn't look exactly right. And also millions of dollars to bring those images. That technology came to everyone last week. A new app from OpenAI, who has created ChatGPT and others, called Sora. And that is a standalone app where you can write any prompt and it will make a video of that. And when it launched, there were almost no protections on IP, meaning you could deepfake someone, you could pull a brand into it, and you could basically create any content you could imagine. And you know what? It looked pretty real.
I played with it as well. And we pulled the audio from both your and my video. Let's play Greg's video first, because the first time I saw this video, I was just casually flipping through. I thought this was real.
We're here asking folks a simple one. Are facts better than Sora? For sure. My invoices go through every time on fax.
Sora stalls on me constantly.
Fax gives me a sign page in 10 seconds. Gives me a sign page in 10 seconds.
More than have you outside the module is solid. We have you outside the module, confirming you've retrieved the supplemental equipment. Houston, affirmative. I've got the fax machine in hand. Just need to plug it in to get the flight plan printed. Copy that. Did you say fax machine?
Need a fax? I've got them. Brand new, barely outdated. This weekend only. Take
I
one of these
mean,
beauties for just $49.99.
you put in a prompt that said,
I said, I want me standing in the middle of the street, doing man on the street interviews, asking people why fax machines are better than Sora. I did that to be funny, right? Or I think it's funny. And then I did put me on the moon looking for a place to plug in my fax machine. And it creates that content in less than 30 seconds.
I put in a prompt that said, show DeRusha anchoring the news when he freaks out about the stupid script and says, I'm quitting to go beyond talk radio.
Tonight, our top story. Wait a second. This is what I'm supposed to read? Who wrote this? This script is ridiculous. I'm not saying another word of it. You know what? I'm done. I'm not spending another night stuck to a teleprompter.
Yeah. And it
not only does it sound real,
it looks
good enough.
It looks good enough.
And what happens is, statistically, we're pretty good at understanding if something is real or not. Historically, we have known. And what has changed is we consume so much content on screens and with buffering that you give it a little grace if it looks a little off. And so if it looks a little off, but it still sounds like you, if I know you and I see you, I'll give it a little grace. And again, this technology has been around for years. People have been making fake viral videos for years. We called it deep fakes. You and I've talked about it on,
Right.
on this segment multiple times. But the difference is, this is now, if you have a ChatGPT app and you have a friend with an invite code, you have access to make this content. You can not only share it or remix other people's content in the app, you can also save it down and share it wherever you want, which means you could text it, you could post it on Twitter or Facebook, you could share it in Discord or the dark web, and spreads from there.
It's disturbingly good.
It's disturbingly good, and I think...
Is this a good or a bad thing?
Well, just like fire, it is good and bad, and it depends on how you're going to use it. And in this case, so at Fin Partners, we work with big brands and small brands, and we help them from a data protection perspective, corporate reputation.
Oh, yeah.
And
I would be freaked
we
out.
had a significant number of clients who had their brands abused. Extremely negative things happen. There's some famous things online with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, shown burglarizing a store or getting pulled over. Famous brand mascots like poisoning children. Terrible things that arguably did real brand damage over the weekend.
And they shut a lot of that down very quickly.
They did. And so this is what happens with these young companies, is that they'll open it way up and then say, oh, so sorry, and we'll pull it back so that that creative spark can get going and they can really get a lot of people using it. They've pulled back now.
Because they had to know. I mean, they had to know this was a risk. These programs.
They know.
Yeah.
They know.
When they're designing this stuff, they know what.
They do. And also they would say, oh, but also there's a spark of creativity and we don't want to limit people. And that is true. And now they're saying
that is true.
They're going to partner with brands where you could pay as a brand to have your IP, have your mascot in there, and people could remix and interact with it. I got to tell you, people are going to abuse it. It's the internet.
Of course.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think if you would have asked me 15 years ago, I would be optimistic and say truth will rise to the top.
Yep.
And I think we have seen very clear evidence that truth does not rise to the top.
And also the internet writ large is very resistant to overly blatant AI content. Even Taylor Swift in her scavenger hunt for her new album had some AI generated content that she got feedback from fans, and they had to take that content down just this week. The internet is not looking for pure AI content in their feeds.
Isn't that interesting? Like, what do we make of that? Here is a technological development that is objectively amazing.
It is. And again, I had a lot of fun putting myself, who I own the rights to myself, I think, or at least I did.
So. Yeah.
Until I put it in this thing.
Right.
Doing a children's program teaching kids how to spell, or I created an entire one about me going to Iowa, and I included all these different clips of me in different places around Iowa to share with Iowans next week. Really super fun, creative platform I've never had access to before. Awesome. And there's always that other side, which is we're already seeing deepfakes being used to trick people, to steal money for intimate situations and revenge. And by creating even greater accessibility to this means there will be further abuses. And what that means is today you need to be even more hyper aware of how your own likeness is being used.
So the chief economist for OpenAI was here in town just yesterday, Ronnie Chatterjee, and he had expressed some hope, but also like a reality that they are concerned that some of this stuff is going to only be used for bad. But he expressed some hope that AI also will be able to be sort of like a reality check, where the same technology that you can use to create something that's nonsense could, there could be some integration with tech platforms or whatever that would give you a verified check or would let you know, like, this is real and this is not.
Yeah, that tends to be true with all of these technologies, where the same technology that helps you break things, hack things, can also detect them and fix them, which is very true. And also, let's go back to your initial question, which is, if I'm scrolling on social, how do I know if something's real? And I think what we've learned in the last 4 or 5 years is there is a significant gap in digital acumen, in understanding what news is, or what an opinion is, what is a fact. And so by introducing video, which is so much more emotional, has such a greater chance of telling a story and reaching us, we have some real challenges ahead, especially knowing there's elections coming.
The video for me is horrifying, because someone very easily could create an AI in anyone. You don't have to know how to program. You don't have to know animation. You don't have to know anything. Anyone could create a very realistic version of me, albeit a minor, but a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
And if enough people believe it, it could ruin me.
It could. And also, I think,
plus, you got to design strategies. The real thing is like somebody like me, and I've been thinking about this, like, what is my strategy for when that happens?
To
assuming it is going to happen.
Yeah. So that's a lot of what we were doing for brands, of helping them report it, ensure that they've owned their own likeness, report a trademark ID and pull it down. The other thing is, this is just further eroding that feeling that we all kind of have about public social. So that's already public social sharing and engagement is down. There's dark sharing, so like texting and chat apps, that is up. Like, we're still doing social, but we already don't feel great about a lot of public social. Now, if a bunch of it is what they call AI slop, if we're increasing the slop, that's not really a place that a lot of people are going to seek out.
All right, so let's talk about a development that might allow you to pay, I don't know, what would you pay a month to get Instagram or Facebook with no ads? Except mine. Except mine. You'd still get mine. That's part of the deal. We'll talk about it when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm John Taft, Vice Chairman of Baird. For over 100 years, Baird's people and expertise have made a difference in the financial advice and services we provide. Our experts on 3 continents combine diverse backgrounds and perspectives to meet your needs. Being nationally recognized as a great place to work helps Baird attract the best people in our industry to advise you. Experience a different kind of financial partnership. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
Hi, Denny Wall here. You know, whenever I'm looking at doing some home improvements around our house, I only go to Linda's Construction, a single contractor for all your home improvement needs. And right now, for the month of October at Linda's Construction, you can get 50% off installation labor on GAF asphalt shingles, Infinity by Marvin windows, Leaf Guard brand gutters, and siding too. Call 844-9-LINDAS, or you can always get on the web at lindasconstruction.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns in place, traveling 94 westbound into downtown Minneapolis past Riverside. East 94, watching some slowing there, pretty much from the tunnel, heading up toward Highway 280. 494 eastbound, got your slowdowns in place, West Bush Lake Road over 235W, and South 169 jammed up Anderson Lakes Parkway to Old Shakopee Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sizzle it, sear it, shred it. From baked pork chops to air fryer pork tenderloin, Minnesota Pork wants you to taste what pork can do for you. mnpork.com for inspiration. But let's have Minnesota Pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is for more of the same. Tonight, low of 45. Tomorrow, 70. Friday, 68. Minnesota Pork brings us the weather forecast. Right now, it's 61 on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Greg Swan explains the internet. We're talking off air. We're talking a little bit about that continuing theme. The main issue for you and me is when we scroll through Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, do those tech companies have some sort of affirmative obligation to make sure that what they're allowing to be on their platform, I know they want to pretend they're tech companies, not media companies, but I couldn't just put made up stuff on the news or on this station. Well, it's talk radio. You can certainly put made up stuff there. But what obligation do they have, if any? And I think that's a policy question. That's sort of a tough one. Well, to me, it's not that tough, but for our policy people, it is sort of tough.
Yeah, and it'll come down to what does our society want to enforce and stand for? What do our laws stand for? And right now in the United States, our laws are not necessarily set up to enforce a lot on these social platforms. But in the United Kingdom, there are some laws that are being enforced around the platforms.
So part of what we see when we have to authorize cookies and whatever, some of this is coming from Europe, right? They're leading the way on some of these legislation. But right now in the UK, Meta, the parent of Facebook and Instagram, they're trying out a subscription offer where you could get an ad-free experience, perhaps. Tell me a little bit about this.
Have you ever been on YouTube and gotten that pop-up that says, oh, would you like to pay YouTube a monthly fee and not get ads? Or maybe you're listening to Pandora or Spotify or Hulu, and you know that you could pay a little more money and not get ads. That is what Facebook and Instagram in the UK are turning on for Facebook.
Would you pay for this? Would you want this?
Well, it's a little different if you work in the industry because I pay my mortgage with ads.
Right.
But there's something that I talk to my kids about where it's only really an ad that you're served if you don't want it.
That's right.
If you're getting something that you're actually interested in and it hits your values, then and what you want, then you will buy it. And yeah, it was still an ad, but it wasn't noise. It wasn't a nuisance. And so what they're turning on, and this is a result of, there was a lawsuit that was settled out of court, and they've decided to turn on this product where for about £3 or £4, so say about $5 a month, you can have an ad-free experience across. Now, that doesn't mean that brands can't still post things on their organic feeds and you wouldn't be able to see them. That doesn't mean it's going to mess with you interacting with your friend content. It does mean if you're on Facebook Marketplace and you're just trying to like see the next thing, you're not going to get ad in that experience.
Which is one of the frustrating things about Facebook Marketplace, where you think you're going to a marketplace of your neighbors, and then it's ad.
Yeah, you end up on Temu or something.
Right.
And so it's interesting. Facebook,
can I still influence? Can I still do my thing?
You can, and this is the fascinating thing.
This could be great
because
for me. I'm very intrigued.
So because what this means is we'll see how many people actually do it, because a lot of people still do Spotify and Pandora and YouTube, and they still get it the freemium version. But
how could you have Spotify for free?
But if more people are doing that, then you could see the brands like, this is exciting to me, because it means, well, then we better make sure when we post something, it's something of value. This means we're going to do actions and not ads. We're going to actually build a community. Again, it's almost back to the future of what social used to be without crushing on ads. I would ask, if you could pay $5 a month to Facebook, what would you want to pay for? Right now, you can pay $12 to $15 a month and have a verified badge.
Right.
You get access to support and some extra stickers. And also, to me, it's a signal that you're supporting Mark Zuckerberg, which is a political statement.
Correct.
But think about that. Like, if you could pay $5 on any social platform, what would you want?
What would you want for it? Like, I pay for X because I get to edit my posts. I get longer, like I can go beyond 140 characters. And I get a little bit money back if, something goes viral or whatever.
Yeah.
So to me, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think
for the editing function alone, it's worth it.
I think most people would say, I want to see posts from my friends. I want to see when someone posts something, I want to be able to see that and not have junk in it. I'm not sure that I think that the math shows that you're not actually going to get that, but fascinating test that we're going to watch happening in Europe. And again, their political structure, their law structure is set up in a way that is creating some enforcement that is kind of the only signals that we'll probably see in the U.S. in the next couple of years.
Pretty cool. Sit on that question. What would you want if you could pay? I got to think about that myself. Yeah. Thanks, Greg. This was terrific.
I will see you on the internet.
Greg Swan, senior partner at Finn Partners. We chat with him about the internet every month. You can follow him at Greg Swan at all the socials. I'm at DeRusha J. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is Brian Job with Job Brothers Construction.